This is the homework helper for Workbook 7-8, Populations and Samples. So what we're doing here in the first question is we're supposed to determine whether the sampling method well represents the population, and we're supposed to justify our answer. There are two options there, and only one of them really well does this. What you're going to be looking for, as we discussed in class today, is randomness. Anytime you see that idea of something being random, that's going to well represent the population. Think about it. If I went to a movie theater and asked people, do you enjoy movies? Chances are most of them are going to say yeah, because they're at the movie theater. That's not really a random sample. If I went up and just asked people on the street, though, what they thought about going to the movies, I'd probably get better answers, because then maybe they do, maybe they don't. There's no bias per se, which is what we're going to talk about in the examples down at the bottom of the page, towards the movies or not. So here, again, look for random. So they're saying Dinah surveys 48 students who she knows, or Suki gives survey forms to 100 students who were randomly chosen, there's that word, from a school attendance list. So the one that's going to better represent the population is Suki's survey. And we're going to justify that by saying it is random. Think about your friends. Your friends probably have similar interests to you to some degree. So chances are, if you like basketball, chances are your friends also like basketball. So if I go ask all of you, what do you think about basketball? We got a pretty good idea of knowing what the answer might be. But if I go and choose random people throughout the building, those answers may not all be so similar. For questions 2 and 3, we're determining whether the sample may be biased, and we'll only take a look at number 2. Again, we know what we're talking about when we come to bias because I've just given you a few different examples of it. So it says an online bookseller randomly chooses 200 book buyers from its database and then surveys those book buyers to find out if they were satisfied with the time it took to deliver their orders. Okay, so some people might look at this question right away and say, well, they're looking just at people that bought the books. You're right, but I'm not asking about their interest in the books. I'm asking them about their satisfaction with order delivery. If they didn't buy a book, they couldn't possibly like how their book was delivered because they didn't get one delivered because they didn't buy a book. All right, so here, this sample is not biased. And when they ask us to explain, well, you can see that favorite word of this section right in the first line there, and it says randomly. They randomly chose the people to survey. And that's how we know that it's not biased.